All right, beautiful people, thank you so much for joining me once again. We are back. If you're already here, hit the like button, subscribe to be part of this awesome family. When it comes to Pan-African conversation and breakdown, we do it best. Yeah, we do it best. Anyway, we are in Burkina Faso today. Look,
God have mercy.
the government of Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, they are rolling out, they've rolled out a particular program. And this particular program or initiative is connected to eternally displaced people in Burkina Faso. I'm going to show you what was happening first. Up to 2021, and the transition happened 2022. You will see what was happening there before the man Traoré took over. And I'm going to show you also the economic activities surrounding these eternally displaced people or displaced persons across Africa. We have some in DRC, we have some in Sudan, we have some in Nigeria, we have some in places that there is this security crisis in. How Traoré is spoiling business, man. The man has decided to break a particular economic channel or economic structure. Yes, let me put it that way so that we can be safe. He has decided to dismantle a particular economic structure which has been working across the entire Africa. Even in fact, the defense minister, chief army of Nigeria came out recently and spoke about this regarding the NGOs, the right group and things. So, first of all, some of the women in Burkina Faso, they said certain things that they went through in up to 2021 before Traoré took over, and how Traoré was able to switch the whole system or the whole condition of these women and men on the ground. We are going to talk about that also. But you see, we need to be careful. We don't want to frame this and create the idea that the NGOs and human rights group, they make money from eternally displaced people. No, that is not what we are trying to do, because that is not what was in their profile or what is in their profile. In their profile, they don't make profit. You know, I know you love this platform, so you want me to be safe right here, right? So help me to be safe. Now, let me break it down clearly to you. How the NGOs and international organizations, they get funding in context. The organizations working with displaced people, we are talking about the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees or International Committee of the Red Cross. According to them, they do not profit as in a business sense. But what you need to understand is that this group, they do operate within a large funding ecosystem. Number one, donor-based funding system. That is the first one. Donor-based funding system. The NGOs, when you have eternally displaced people in your country, yeah, all over, the NGOs in your country, after this you will understand why the NGOs are angry, human rights group are angry about what Ibrahim Traoré is doing and they are publishing things and all that. Yeah, okay. Now, the NGOs in the country, most of the time the government leave the burden of eternally displaced people on the NGOs. Okay, so the NGOs receive money from government. You are talking about USA, EU countries, European Union countries, etc. International institutions are also involved together with private donors and foundations. They contribute and donate money to these NGOs, and and some of these NGOs, we have international NGOs and we have local NGOs, because it's become so everybody wants to you understand. So the internally displaced people have become a source of funding kind of things, because the funding of these NGOs, right group, these NGOs, the funding is tied to the number of displaced people, the scale of the crisis, and the urgency of humanitarian need. The funding flow according to these three. Now, take two for me. Let's hang it somewhere. Number of displaced people, the scale of the crisis. Let's put that aside. Our conversation is coming there. Number two is the crisis economy. The bigger the crisis, the more funding flows. Okay. The more displaced people you have, the more grant, programs and budgets are being allocated. This particular system is what analysis call humanitarian economy. So all these things fall within the humanitarian economy. It is not necessarily corruption, okay, but through this, in this humanitarian economy, you have jobs created, contracts are issued, and the entire operation of this particular humanitarian economy it depends solidly on the continuation of funding when there is crisis. And you need to have more displaced camp to have more funding, right? Beautiful. Now, we have administrative and operational costs, which they always refer to in their books, because this is where they always say that they don't make money, because their money is spent around the administrative and operational costs. They claim that they don't keep profit. This is how they always go with the argument. We don't make profit. We spend significantly on funds and operation, including salaries. They pay salary to local and international staff. So it becomes a whole channel where people are employed. I don't know how many of you remember last time when Army Chief of Defense in Nigeria came out and said that I was complaining about how some of the workers will come and then we want to solve the problem within a space of 1-2 years, but the person will come, the staff will come and then rent 10 years room. 10 years rent, okay? 10 years rent in advance. They'll pay 10 years rent, which means that they are looking at the situation, they are going to be there forever, right? So this is the money that they claim that they use to manage logistic, vehicle, officers, and their security, consultancy contract, program management. This money, according to them, it goes to the administrative and operational cost. And in some cases, a portion of the funding, some percentage of the funding, it goes to the administration. And this is not illegal. This is legal and it is standard. Number 4, they have project-based funding incentives. The NGOs, their funding is tied to projects. It is not tied to permanent solution. The NGO doesn't come and try to provide a permanent solution to the people who are displaced in your country. They come with projects. Okay, the project will continue. So the continuation of the project of the NGO in respect to the eternally displaced people, it gives them the authority to continuously apply for new funding. They need to be showing constantly that the program is ongoing. That's why sometimes you see pictures. So they will come in, they will bring, after the funding and everything, they will come in and then they'll share a bag of rice, some food, some rice, some bread. So they will line up our keys on the street and then they will be giving them, some of them, you watch the videos, right? Some of them, they will come with bowls, with cap, and then they are taking porridge and just those things. And then for the camera, they are going to show that the program is ongoing and then more funding to support the program. So with this, people criticize the whole idea that, look, this thing that you are doing, the focus is practically on managing the crisis, not ending the crisis quickly, because you are prioritizing visibility over long-term structural change for the people. So in Burkina Faso, these were the things going on. Why is this table moving up and down like this? I'm going, hey, relax, choke yourself for here. I'm hot. So this thing have been going on in Burkina Faso before Captain Ibrahim Traoré took over. In Burkina Faso, till Traoré took over, some internally displaced people in Burkina Faso, it got to a time the government give them, not the government of Burkina Faso, they give them a land to farm. Do you know what they did? They give them the land and they rented the land to them to be paying without providing any proper structure to make sure that these people, they have the equipment and things they can use to farm, concretely to gain proper income. No, it's just, the camouflage vibe. So the government of Burkina Faso under Captain Ibrahim Traoré said, look, we are going to end this economic chain. We are going to break it. The people who are displaced because of that security situation, they need to be reintegrated into the society through economic activity that will give them independence, without them depending on either the government or any NGOs. So when that happens, what is going to happen is that more NGOs are going to lay off their staffs in that particular region or transfer them to elsewhere. You can no longer receive funding for this particular camp or eternally displaced people here because they are becoming independent. They are now earning good. They don't need your money or your rice anymore. So that way you can no longer receive funds. So the flow in of money to that particular angle is going to what? Reduce or stop along the line. So the government of Burkina Faso has rolled out initiative. This initiative that the government of Burkina Faso roll out, the initiative targets the internally displaced people who are forced to flee their home due to instability in other parts of the country. Now, the goal of the initiative is not just to give the people relief, but reintegration and economic independence, as I said earlier. The government is not going to pack their car with their suit and be sharing rice and put it in a camera that they are, they went in there and they help the people and they show solidarity and some people will donate money. No. They roll out a project. The government is involved in the project. The project is led by Burkina Faso's Ministry of Solidarity, Humanitarian Action, National Reconciliation, Gender and Family. The minister himself personally visited the site to assess progress and engage with the beneficiaries of this project. The government have allocated some 15 hectares of agricultural land. And this land, 15 acres of land, is not only one place. 15 here on, there's a site called Farakoba site. We have a Tolo Tama site and other sites across the country, 15 hectares of land. And they give it to them to farm. Previously, some land were given to them and they said, well, they should pay. They rented it. But this time, take it, use it, and the government supported them with any agriculture equipment to make sure that they farm sustainably without any disruption. So that at the end of the day, this can provide food security and income generating opportunity for them. So hundreds of people who are displaced, women and men, are taking part of this. In the second set also, hundreds of women are all over the country. People who are displaced are no longer going to be there and NGOs will come and be sharing rice to them. No, they are engaging them to work, to sustain themselves. The women spoke about this. They said before Traoré came and rolled out this program has been, in for, since the time Traoré came on board, he has been talking about the people, rolling out the things they can do and all that. So according to the women, so the things that they were on before Traoré came, he lay off the NGOs and, champion different agenda. But this one particular, the women are like, look, before they were engaging in informal survival activities, some of them, they have to, because the famine, they rented the land to them and they did not provide anything that will help them. They just give them up to their own fate. So the women were, struggling in survival activities. According to the women right now, they said, look, right now, their life is better than before because they are farming, get the harvest and go and sell, and they are making economic, boom. Things, they are no longer depending on anybody. They are working with the help of the government. So the NGO is out of that terrain. You will not understand why so many NGOs channels were closed in Burkina Faso until you understand this. Because they get their funding to support their program. The more people you have, the more funding come in to support their program. It is not exploitation in their book or it is illegal. No, it is legal and standard. That is how they manage their affairs in terms of internally displaced people. It is a whole economic channel. So Traoré is breaking that particular channel. This is why these days you can't see them agreeing with the leader of Burkina Faso. This is the reason why the chief of defense in Nigeria, the chief of army, came out and was criticizing the NGOs that they don't come to support and solve the problem, but they come to maintain and manage the problem. The surprising aspect of the conversation is that where the people will sleep, instead of getting more structures and then more displaced people, Ibrahim Traoré roll out initiative, which is not only about the farming, but it includes construction of social housing for displaced families. They are constructing 50 house units in multiple regions to give to these people, so that they can live there instead of the structure. No, we are going to build house and keep you there. That also is what? Development. Because some of the communities, because they are not developed, it is easy for the T group to come in. But when it is developed, there's policing and security is provided and activities, economic activity, it becomes difficult for T group to come in. It is just like you see animals in the bush. The more you begin to try to construct and then build a city and you are chasing the forest away, the animals also, they go far. That is just basically what it is. So this 50 housing unit is going to provide permanent apartment and shelter for these people to reduce dependency on the temporary camps that they are in. When you go to DRC, plenty temporary camps, Sudan, plenty of them. In Nigeria, in some cases, people are displaced. And the NGOs, this is where I will not say that they make money, but this is what they make. They apply for funding to support their program. So when you solve the problem and make these people leave that part, and you make their life better, they kick the NGOs out of the equation. But because our government don't want to take responsibility, they leave the responsibility of the people in the hand of the NGOs. So you have thousands of NGOs in their country, and the government care less about the people. One of the things that will happen is that election time, they will go there and share rice and then get the vote of the people, and then they go back. So this is how Ibrahim Traoré is breaking the economic chain and changing the life of the people in Burkina Faso. Look, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. See you in the next episode. Respect.